Well, welcome to Dubai Autodrome. It's become the home of the Age of Le Mans series in the last few seasons, coming through and out of the COVID period. You join us here for round 3 of the 2023-2024 championship after 2 rounds on our return to Southeast Asia and Sepang. Well, I'm Greg Goodwin, joined in the booth by sports car racing legend. He loves to be describing him as that, Oliver Gavin. Great to have you back again, Ollie.
Great to be here.
A great grid here, 41 cars, a bit of a boost with 4 new cars joining us, 1 or 2 that aren't here for a variety of reasons, and at least one of them might well return for Abu Dhabi next weekend. Looking forward to qualifying here in Dubai. It's always been exciting.
It has, and we're waiting for all the GT cars just to come out onto the track. They're all lined up in their boxes, getting ready for this qualifying session. And it's been the bronze drivers who are taking that session for all of these cars. And yeah, looking forward to an action-packed 15 minutes. Yeah,
we saw this in free practice yesterday, where lots of the non-professional drivers are all of a sudden at the top of the timing screens, and that's because they were getting their qualifying simulation, new tyres, low tanks, and all of a sudden they were in the pound seats and the pros were looking a bit slow.
Yes, and actually this morning it has been a lot cooler today, so we're just waiting for the cars to line up at the end of the pit lane now, and looking forward to this qualifying session.
So this is the Apex Garden. It's a relatively new addition here at Dubai Autodrome and is drawing locals to this circuit for a variety of international events, of which we're proud to be part of. It's been 2 major events here in 2 weekends after the 24 hours of Dubai last weekend, and we've got several of the winners of that race on this grid again this weekend. Bit of an advantage for them, Ollie, with some, well, say some track knowledge, plenty of track knowledge. Yes. If you've been going around here for a full 24 hours in the Gulf.
Yeah, it certainly was. The Audi teams here certainly came to the fore, and they had a lot of success here, taking that victory in the Dubai 24 hours. And I think this week there's been definitely a progression in the track and how it's working with the Michelin tyres here, with all of the runners, both in GT, LMP3 and LMP2, and definitely the track has been developing and evolving. And I think this morning, with those cooler temperatures I was talking about just a minute ago, the lap times have been really tumbling, and now it seems to me it's the fastest the track has been all week. So we're looking forward to maybe some record times in qualifying.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 15-minute qualifying sessions. The first session will see 22 GT3 cars, our GT class here, boosted once again. 8 different manufacturers, teams from around the world, and drivers too from around the globe. They'll be followed, of course, by the LMP3s and the LMP2 teams. A very relaxed driver in the number 66 car.
The Atento boys are pretty chilled.
That's Dylan Pereira aboard that car. He's just darling himself in mentally, I'm sure, and that's, you know, one of the themes here, isn't it, Ollie?
It's actually a good thing, I think, as a driver to be able to sort of just switch yourself off, just have that little bit of calm, prepare yourself before you release yourself out onto track and really get into the nitty-gritty of qualifying and sort of dealing with everything that happens out there, the pressure of trying to deliver that lap in a very short space of time.
It actually won't be, of course, Dylan Pereira, because he's one of the pro drivers in that car. This is just the way the timing screen presents them to us. We'll see and name the drivers as they emerge onto this 5.5 kilometre circuit here at Dubai Autodrome. It's been a very happy hunting ground for the Age of Le Mans series since 2021, when we first came here. Single race only this season here in Dubai, before the caravan of the Age of Le Mans series heads down the road to the capital of the UAE in Abu Dhabi at Yas Marina circuit for the final double header of the season.
Green flag and cars released onto track. There's that the EBM car at the front there. Oh no, it's Pure Racing.
Oh, that's Herbeth.
Oh, is it Herbeth? Excuse me.
They are tricky, yes. two white Porsches, but followed out by the 888 JMR Mercedes AMG. Just a single BMW this weekend from Project One. We'll tell that tale over the weekend. But one of the drivers of the Project One car that is missing, Sean Galale, named just last night as a full season WC driver in a BMW for WRT. Will be in a different car, be in the second Santalot car, the 43 car this weekend.
And was that due to the silver driver in that car had to jump away just for the weekend.
It is indeed just become a father. He's doing those things that fathers like to do, which is make sure they're part of a very happy occasion. Monsieur Erhard, and congratulations to the family. We've got 2 cars already potentially in trouble here, and it is the number 7 Almanar Racing by GetSpeed AMG and the number 9, which is the other GetSpeed car, for not obeying the race director's instructions in pit lane. We'll find out whether or not that's got consequences a little later.
That's very likely. They've actually released into the fast lane of the pit lane before they were told they could. Yeah. They were trying to get that break to get down to the end of the pit lane to get themselves primed for that on nice and free and clear track.
So that is the 42 car emerging from pit lane. That's our championship leading car from Santalok Racing. This is the 43.
Super quick in Sepang, weren't they? They've been looking very good here so far. They've got a little bit more weight on them this weekend. 30 kilos added to them since Sepang, so that might hurt them over the longer runs. Tyre wear.
This is our new addition to the GT squad, and this is a team that knows this track better than anybody. They're
based here, aren't they?
Right here, in fact, just passing the back door of their workshop there. The number 98 Ferrari 296 GT3 from Dragon Racing. Well, let's tell you who's out there for this session. In the number 7 Almanar Racing by GetSpeed Mercedes AMG, it's Antti Liu. It is Setuan Santoso in the number 8 EBM Porsche. GetSpeed's number 9 Mercedes AMG is in the hands of Martin Conrad. Ilya Gabatsky is aboard the number 11 Attempto Racing Audi. The Lippert Motorsport Lamborghini, the number 19 car in the hands of Gabriele Rindoni. Francois Heriot pilots the 21 AF Corsa Ferrari. That's the red car with the yellow stripes, very much the hypercar livery for Mercedes nowadays. Optima Motorsport, the first of their 2 McLarens, 27 car into the hands of Mark Ratcliffe. And Terresau pilots the Herbeth Racing number 33 Porsche. 42 from Santalok Racing is in the hands of Fruity Alban Fruity. He was very fruity indeed, wasn't he, at Sepang, and we're expecting great things from him again. Zhubi Huang is in the Santalok 43 Audi, and Andrei Mukasov in the Attempto number 66. We'll be hoping for better for that squad than they managed in race 2 with a quite serious shunt for that car. Optimum's second McLaren, the 69, is in the hands of Sam Dehaan and Heiko Neumann in the Team Motorpark AMG. D-Station Racing 77 Aston Martin, the dark green car is in the hands of Satoshi Yoshino. Charles-Henri Samani is in the white and black AF Corsa number 82 Ferrari 296. 84, the second car from EBM, Earl Bamber Motorsports, in the hands of Adriano Silva. Mike Wainwright is in his splendid-looking black and orange 86 GR Racing Ferrari 888 JMR. The number 88 AMG is in the hands of Prince Jeffrey, as it was, of course, in Sepang. Pure Racing, Alex Malikin in the number 91 car that took race win number 2 in Sepang. 93, the Project 1, the solo Project 1 BMW M4 GT3 this weekend in the hands of the reigning British GT champion, and another man named for a full season of WRT's BMW squad, Darren Young. John Hartshorn in the red number 95 TF Sport Aston Martin, and the field rounded out by that 98 Dragon Racing car in the hands of Marco Pulcini as we wait for the first flying laps to come through, Ollie. Yeah, absolutely. We were just following the Herbert 33 car around that first flying lap, and he got balked by the sort of Pure Racing Porsche coming into turn 14, and he was looking for a way by, and he's now got himself bottled up behind Prince Jeffrey here in the 888 Mercedes, and this is the perils of qualifying here with so many cars on track, and Terresau has actually bailed out of this qualifying lap now, which it could have an impact on where they end up, because you know, you're wanting to hit the peak of the tyre, and as he prepared it pretty well, and looking like that was going to be a good first quick lap, and the second lap would have been better, but it's, you know, he's now have to bail out of that and try and find a free spot. Well, Mukasov has set the fastest first flying lap in the first Tom Vasky, with about half the field having completed thetheir first laps. It's a 2:02.943. There is a lot more to come. This track can be notoriously slippy. Yeah, it can. Dust and sand blowing across the surface here. And you were saying earlier, offline, very bumpy indeed, Ollie.
Yeah, it has been bumpy. It's also very, very dusty, sandy here. It's been very windy conditions here, and it's unusually cool here. And we don't have that much. We don't have the lovely blue sky that we usually have here in Dubai. It's been rather cloudy. We've had a little bit of rain, and that's been also something that's been adding to the challenges here for everybody running on track. And but I think the cooler temperatures have aided the faster lap times. But certainly you want to get your lap time done here, really get that peak of the tyre, get everything in the window, and then deliver that lap time nice and cleanly to get the maximum from your package.
We're going to see some improvements very shortly. Just about the whole field in this GT field has completed the first flying lap. It is at the moment an all attempt 1-2 is Andrei Mugazov from Ilya Gabatsky, and 2:02.943 for the number 66 car. That is, though, absolutely blown away by the second flying lap from Prince Jeffrey. Goes through the 2 minutes .891, so 1.2 seconds to the good now, because that beats an improved time from Andrei Mugazov. But Marco Pulcini puts the local team, Dragon Racing, number 98, from here, not just in Dubai, but here inside the Dubai Autodrome, ahead by a further second. The first car under 2 minutes in this session. It's a 1:59.877 for the number 88. Sorry, excuse me, the number 98 Dragon Racing Ferrari 296 GT3.
Yeah, that's certainly competitive. And certainly looking at the times this morning, it was you know, if you got into the 59s, I think you were top money. So I think that's going to be right there, competitive. I think we might be seeing a number of others sort of buffering up sort of behind her, but I think that is 59.8 is pretty quick so far. That's one of the fastest times in GT so far this week. Yeah,
we're getting some lap times deleted amongst them. Lap time deleted there for Martin Conrad, the number 9 Get-Speed car. AF Courses number 21 has lost both of its times to track limits and has yet to set a competitive time in the session. 1:59.877 it is from that 2 minutes .891, almost exactly a second behind for Prince Jeffrey, and then back into the 2:02 to Mark Ratcliffe, setting third, now fourth fastest time. It's a new fastest time of the session, and it's another significant improvement. Great lap there by Anthony Liu, a 1:59.161, and as soon as I say that, that is blown into the weeds, Ollie, by
Alban Veruti, who was very fruity in Sepang.
And it's a 1:58.411 for the Santalok Racing man that did such a strong job in both races to anchor a win and a second place in Malaysia.
Extremely impressive performance from him in Sepang, and he's turning on again here this weekend in Dubai, and I think that he's going to be the class act.
I think he may be about to get that lap time deleted, though. So 1:58.411 stands at the moment on timing screens, but we'll wait. It has gone, or is that
for track limits?
No, I think
he's kept it.
It's the next lap that was deleted. So it's Alban Veruti for Santalok Racing ahead of the number 7 Almanar Racing by Get-Speed AMG. So Audi leads AMG, leads a second Audi. Now it doesn't, because Marco Pulcini has improved again, and Dragon Racing go third. So it's 3 makes in the top 3, 4 makes in the top 4, because Herbert Motorsports Antaresau is 4th, and the first make to repeat is the 5th fastest car. That is Prince Jeffrey's time in the number 88 AMG.
Yeah, I think we're seeing here some exceptional performances here from these bronze-ranked drivers. You know, I think that the golds and the platinums were putting in these sorts of lap times this morning, and the bronzes have really turned up the wick and really coming out with some very, very strong performances here. And that 58.4 is going to be very difficult to beat, I believe.
Well, Francois Rio has now put in a competitive time and is on the board. Just trying to pick out exactly where that's settled. It's somewhere in the teens, 13th quickest at the moment for the 21 car that had not set a time to that point. We're seeing further improvements. 3rd quickest now. In fact, the Get-Speed cars, the Almanar Racing 2nd quickest. The other car, the number 9 car, now goes 3rd quickest. James Cottingham pops up in 4th. A good run there from the British driver in the McLaren.
Yeah, I think the McLaren's going to take its time just to really get things switched on, and they maybe don't see that absolute peak lap time from the McLaren. They're far better over a longer run. and I think they look after their tyres pretty well, so I think that they could be far more race orientated rather than qualifying peak performance.
Another good time in the second car into the 158, and that's come from Alex Malikin in the number 91 Pure Racing car. These were the two cars in contention for the win in race 2 at Sepang.
Yeah, this track as well, I believe, is quite well set for Porsche entries, and I think Audi here were very, very strong last weekend in Dubai 24 Hours, so I think that those two brands are still going to be very strong, even though they've had some adjustments in the balance of performance.
Yeah, we've got some quick lap times still coming. Purple sectors popping up. Our timing screen's purple sector means the fastest sector of the session so far.
And that is an Audi, isn't it, that's going purple? That's the 43 car.
Yep, it's a quick time as well, by the way, by the third place car at the moment on timing and scoring. Not by much, but certainly taking thousandths, hundredths out of this lead. Currently 4/10 to the good of that single blistering lap from Alban Veruti.
Yeah, he did that lap, and then he did a pretty slow one, just maybe to cool things off and then go again. But we're not seeing anything special from him on this next lap, so I think he's mostly going to come back, park it in the pits. Job done.
Absolutely. So two cars in the 158. A further, what is that? 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 in the 159s. So 9 cars under 2 minutes.
Is Anthony Liu going to improve? And he has gone second.
It's halved the deficit. It's 0.239 of a second back now. Anthony Liu, who's still got just under 3 minutes to go. So Santaloc's 42 Audi in the hands of Alban Veruti, 158.411. This car, though, the number 7 Almanar Racing by Get Speed Mercedes-AMG GT3 Evo, in the hands of Anthony Liu from Hong Kong. And he's gone through in a 158.650. They're finding the pace all of a sudden here, Ollie.
Yeah, they are, and I think he's still on for a good lap. This lap, he's certainly not backed off. He's really trying to pick his points here, keeping it nice and clean. And he's trying to line up his run through and off of turn 9.
And he's gone purple in the first sector in that number 7 car, so he's up on the pole time after the first sector, but so too is the pole sitting car. So this could be something of a dual improvement as well. 4th place for Prince Jeffrey in the number 88 AMG for 888 JMR.
And the 91 is also improving, and I think that they're going to be. I think he's going to be improving on his lap. He's just off that first sector, but he's still pressing on. And then number 91.
The top 2 cars separated on their best lap times. Timing scoring by just under a quarter of a second, separated on their current lap by 6,000ths of a second, and both are going quicker than the pole time.
Anthony Liu's gone purple in both of that first and second sector. Get eyes on him. I think that would be a great lap to be able to watch.
And Alban Veruti is just under a 10th off that. He is 3,000ths of a second up on his pole time after 2 sectors. The bad news at the moment for Veruti, though, is Anthony Liu is a full 10th up.
He is coming through the final corner. It looks clean, looks good. No track limits there. That's strong. And is he going to go to the top of the... He does indeed.
He does by 0.131 of a second. Anthony Liu, the Almanar Racing by Get Speed AMG, the number 7 car here, the white and black AMG, goes through and snatches pole position with under a minute to go. It's going to be one more time around.
He will get one more. And Veruti has not improved. He ended up 2/10 off in that final lap. And is he going to go again? There are other guys improving, and James Cottingham has now moved himself up into 4th spot, and he is only well, he's actually, sorry, excuse me, he's 1 second.
He's second off.
Just reading it wrong there.
But finding time, so it will not be an improvement this time around from Anthony Liu. He's lifted off, and there's a second off in the first sector. Looking to see what happens now with Alban Veruti. He too has given that up.
Yeah, he has.
So we're looking whether or not anybody else can challenge here, but it looks to me at the moment with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the checkered flag is out as the cars will cross the line. At the moment, this looked very much like Almanar Racing by Get Speed number 7 car. The hands of Anthony Liu is going to take pole position here.
Yeah, they've been looking strong through this week. And I think maybe conditions and everything in this qualifying session has all come together nicely. They were quick and strong throughout the weekend in Sepang, and they had that podium, didn't they?
They did.
And that was in the second race.
It was. No, didn't have a podium.
Excuse me.
It was fourth twice, weren't they?
Fourth twice.
They were fourth twice and sit third in the points.
Yeah, that's it.
Which, you know, that has them sitting pretty if they can improve on that performance to be championship contenders here without a shadow of a doubt.
No change in their BOP for the weekend. So that's
stable platform.
Yeah, I think that they will be pretty happy with that and sitting pretty for the race here.
Late improvement, by the way, from the Lamborghini, the number 19 Lipa Motorsport car, Gabriele Rindoni. He finishes the session at the moment, sits sixth. Not seeing anybody that's going to improve and take snatch that from him, but no doubt whatsoever, delight with Almanar Racing at Get Speed. What a performance from Anthony Liu. We saw that first effort from Alban Ferruti. It looked to me immediately as if that would be very tough to beat.
They really did sort of put the hammer down, and it was looked like he was going to really stamp his authority on the qualifying session, but there was nothing more to give after that first lap, that first real-time lap that he did, and he couldn't really improve on that, and his 58.411 was the lap time that stood.
Well, it's the top three cars in the championship standings that are the top three places in this qualifying session for the third round of the Asia Le Mans Series.
Very strong driver lineups as well.
Absolutely.
Good teams.
And the great news there for all three is, of course, that shows the strength of their bronze-ranked non-professional driver.
The Optimum car there in fourth, as I was commenting earlier on in the session, you know, McLaren is not maybe seen as that real qualifying weapon, or that's really strong for the qualifying performance. And so I think that they'll be quite pleased to be fourth, thinking about how, you know, their tyre wear is and how they tend to grow into the race, and they'll be thinking about their race setup. So they'll be quietly confident with that fourth place.
Yeah, and good to see as well some strong performances a little further down the timing and scoring of this qualifying session. Some of these bronze drivers very close indeed to each other. They'll be looking to fight their own battles in the early parts of the race tomorrow. 4 hours, remember, here around the Dubai Autodrome, as all 5 rounds of the Asia Le Mans Series are this year, increasing from 4 rounds last season.
We're just seeing all the cars come back into pit lane, and everybody just quick sort of thumbs up or a bit quick sort of debrief on how the session has gone, and we'll be seeing the P3 and the P2 cars coming out into the pit lane and preparing for their session. The sun has come out.
It does.
So we're going to be getting a
little
bit more
breeze by the look of it, and that's a breeze that's going to be in the against the cars on the start-finish straight, but behind them, Ollie, for that long back straight.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been squinting away at the timing screen here. It does seem to be a little bit far away. Might have to have a bit of an adjustment for the race. And I've been getting Optimum and Triple 8 mixed up here. And Optimum will be very happy because they're actually third.
That's changed.
I'll promote them to third.
That's changed. Where's the Santalot car gone?
Yeah, good point.
That car's gone to the bottom of timing and scoring.
Maybe that they had decided that is for track limits, maybe.
It might well be, but Alban Ferruti, you're completely correct, has dropped from second place on timing and scoring to 22nd place.
Good grief.
So that has cost him 20 places here, and that must be for track limits.
So do you think that every lap that he did,
it looks as if that is what the decision's been by race control.
They have been quite strong on it. I mean, calling a lot of teams out, and teams that have been regularly offending have had as long as 5 minutes in the pit lane during the free practice sessions.
Yeah, our race director has not been shy about handing out 2-minute stop and holds for track limits, and at least one occasion for someone who's a further repeat offender in the free practice session, it was a further 5 minutes.
Yeah. I think the 5-6 area is well, sort of 1 into 2 is one area, then 5-6 is another area. The track limits is a big thing, and then coming out of 9, and then I think it's really the last corner or the last 2 corners that are a big issue as well, where drivers are trying to sneak as much of racetrack as they possibly can, and that's where they're getting pinged.
So Anthony Liu it is, and he'll have Alex Malikin, and then we're seeing here, this is the pole lap from the number 7 car from Almanar Racing, and he was pushing on, Ollie.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he fantastic job. He really did nail the laps there, and the guys in the garage there all very pleased with the performance. Very, very strong.
So Mercedes-AMG it will be at the front of this grid, and alongside it will be the Porsche from Pure Racing now in the hands of Alex Malikin. number 91 car. As we said, the race winner in race 2 at Sabang in Malaysia last month.
They'll be happy with that, won't
They'll
they?
be absolutely delighted with that. James Cottingham, it will be on row 2 for Optimum Motorsport from the UK in the number 69 McLaren.
Mark Radcliffe in the sister car is not that far back in P7 again, so I think Optimum and McLaren will be pretty happy with that performance in qualifying and setting themselves nicely for the race tomorrow, 4 hours here at the Dubai Autodrome.
And a great qualifying performance as well, by the way, from Prince Jeffrey, the immaculately prepared 888 JMR, the number 88 AMG, the second AMG on the grid.
They had a challenging Sepang, didn't they?
They did.
And I think a couple of penalties there for Prince Jeffrey, but he's in a good spot here, and I think that the first time here for them actually, 888. Did speak to Roland Dane a little bit earlier on, and he was saying about how it's new to them. They've got lots of experience in Abu Dhabi, but here in Dubai it's their first time, and very happy to have had all the track time that we've had through the week. And yeah, very keen to get going. And he was unsure exactly where they stood, stacked up in with the BOP and the other manufacturers. But I think he'll be very happy with the way qualifying's gone today. So
absolutely
nice for the Mercedes.
So the GT
brand.
cars are being pushed away into their garages. Their day is done for qualifying. We've got another 15 minutes of action to come. That is the overall order for qualifying. 1:58.280 grabs GT pole position for the number 7 Amanar Racing by GetSpeed AMG, ahead of the Pure Racing Porsche, Optimum Motorsport 69 McLaren, the 888 JMR AMG, Lippert Motorsport with the Lamborghini 5th, GetSpeed's second car, the AMG number 9 car, ahead of the first of the Attempt 2 Audis. All the way down in 20th place, the Team Motorpark AMG did not feature at the top of the order, but the shocker in this order, without a shadow of a doubt, is the 22nd fastest car, because the best of the laps that counted for Santaloc Racing's Alban Veruti, who was at the top of timing and scoring and finished the session across the line in second, those laps have gone, and he will start from the very back of this grid, and that's a shocker. That will be something to watch tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to make for a great race, watching that car come through.
So 15 minutes done for the GTs, and now we get to see something very special. Watch again this replay with the number 7 AMG, Ollie.
Yeah, that was a very strong performance by them, and actually we were just watching just off camera, and there was another shot that we were seeing for that car from Al Faisal, and he was being fully sort of undressed, like we're just seeing it here.
You get that a lot, though.
He was being checked by the officials and the scrutineers here to make sure that he is wearing all of the official underwear, race suit, everything that you need to wear, all of the underwear for all of it, to make sure that you're fully past tech, to make sure that you're wearing all of the correct racing overalls.
I think that's the Pure Racing driver that was giving the thumbs up there. We have seen drivers penalised, and we have seen drivers penalised for exactly that offence before now, with something actually missing from the absolutely mandatory safety gear, and it's there for a reason, Ollie. We wait for the P2 and P3 cars to come to the track.
I think Claire has.
Let's go down to pit lane, and Claire has got with her Alex Melikin from the number 91 Porsche.
Okay, with me now we have car number 91, Melikin. Tell us about that qualification.
We're very happy with the result, because for Porsche has pretty good pace in a long run, but for quali not easy to use peak. And we expect fighting for best position, but it's not easy to use peak for Porsche, because need a warm-up front. Porsche is about the rear tires, yeah. And but I feel like I did it very well, and show closer to my maximum, maybe maximum. So I'm very happy with my lap, very clean, and thank you, team. It's a so good car.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The very first Lithuanian-flagged team in international sports car racing. This team will be going to Le Mans 24 Hours with at least 2 cars, Ollie.
Yeah.
Having earned one of those places through the GT World Challenge Europe, and they will get begun with a second car running with Montai in the FI World Endurance Championship. Remains to be seen what happens here and whether or not they may even earn a third, because of course the champions in both the GT class here and in the LMP2 class earn the biggest prize in motorsport, an invitation to the 2024 24 Hours of Le Mans. That was almost in slow motion, wasn't it?
Oh dear, and this has been one of the challenges. I was talking to the Michelin engineers earlier on, and they were saying with LMP3 that their tyre warm-up is a challenge. The cooler temperatures here, the cooler track temperature is really a challenge for these guys. And you could see the 20 car just turned in, their high-class car, and as he turned in, that front axle just started to bite, and the rear just came around, that big pendulum effect, and he couldn't quite catch it.
It was a half spin. He's got it back moving. Let's call who's out on track in this mixed grid here of LMP2 and LMP3 cars. If you're not familiar with these cars, the LMP2 cars are the cars with the blue number plates. They are all, for the purposes of this race, French-built Oreca chassis with a British-built 4.2 litre Gibson from Derbyshire, Repton in Derbyshire. Normally aspirated V8 engine, way over 500 horsepower in these cars, and a very aerodynamic wrapping. In the LMP3 class, the junior LMP class, LMP Le Mans prototype. And those cars, for the purposes of this race, again French-built, but a different maker, Ligier, with a 5.6 litre V8 engine from Nissan, Nismo, developing something over 400 horsepower. It's all, though, about a combination of mechanical grip, Ollie, from those big fat Michelin tyres, and aerodynamic grip from the pure racing bodies that we can see there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we're seeing. If you go out and watch on track, which I did earlier on, the 34 cars had a... Oh, no, sorry, it was 83 car.
No, that's the 34. It was the 34.
Excuse me, yeah, the 34 car had a spin. Yeah, that's a Nielsen car. Blake McDonald, first time here in Dubai. And that is, you know, just getting everything up to speed and going. But yeah, it is a challenge here. The difference between P3 and P2, the P2 cars are definitely relying on their aerodynamical downforce to get that heat in the tyres and get everything working. And the way that the car is set up, it is really quite stiffly sprung. And over all the bumps here, that is really quite a challenge for everybody that's out on track in P2.
Well, aboard the LMP3 cars, we have 6 of them with a brand new team making their international debut here this weekend. But it's our previous champion, CD Sport, in the number 2 car with Nick Adcock aboard that car. And the 17 Cool Racing car, the European Le Mans Series reigning championship winning team, Alexander Bekantsov, race winners in Malaysia. Orden Gudmundsson from Iceland is in the number 20 high-class racing car from Denmark. And the team from Denmark, the man from Iceland. Breton Racing from the Czech Republic is in the hands of the reigning Michelin Le Mans, European Michelin Le Mans Cup champion, apologies, Julien Djebi from Algeria. The brand new team, the number 58 car, is the GG Classic Cars, nothing to do with me. Aussie flag team, UK-based team, Josh Nakas, it is aboard that car. And finally, in the LMP3 class, it's the 65 Viper-Nisa Racing team from Sepang in Malaysia, and that is Douglas Koo aboard that car. In our LMP2 class, and there's plenty to read out. D-Car Engineering are reigning champions from Luxembourg. It is Alexander Matschel aboard the number 3 Oreca. George Kurtz from the United States is aboard the number 4 car, CrowdStrike Racing by APR, race winners in Sepang. The 30 car from Duquesne team, which just goes through with John Falb at the wheel from Las Vegas, the United States. Duquesne team, of course, from France, the 30 car. The number 83 we've also seen on the screens as well already, Francois Perrodo, multiple international champion Francois in GT and LMP2. He's aboard his 83 car. Algar Pro Racing, European Le Mans Series champions in LMP2. Chris McMurray from the United States making his comeback to LMP2 racing after quite a time away. He's at the wheel at 25. Cool Racing's 47 is one of 2 additions here this weekend from the grid we saw in Malaysia. Alexandra Kwani, one of the team co-owners, is aboard the 47 car. And scanning down to see which others we haven't called, it's the 2 Nielsen cars. Blake McDonald is the 2nd additional LMP2 car, 2nd car here for Nielsen Racing. And the 34, Ian Loggy in the sister 24 car that did race at Sepang, had no luck whatsoever. Long-standing Asia Le Mans Series competitor, Mira Konopka from Slovakia, is in the number 44 ARC Bratislava car. And I think we've just got 4 more to call. Ahmed Al-Hati, the 99 racing car, 2 pole positions in the Asian Le Mans Series and his LMP2 debut last year in the 99 racing car, number 99. TF Sports 90 with Salih Yolic from Turkey, and then the 2 Proton competition cars to complete the order. It is the number 22 car in the hands of Giorgio Roda, who topped a free practice session yesterday, and finally PJ Hyatt's Proton competition in the green on green 55 car. PJ, the father of the fabled Rexy Porsche, the dinosaur Porsche, and also of Spike, the LMP2 Dragon in North American racing. And if you've not seen those 2 cars, they are spectacular. That's our grid that we will see starting. In what order, though, Ollie, will be determined in the next 9 minutes.
Yeah, we've just been watching while you've been running through that order. We've been watching the decane of John Fowl coming down into turn 1 and really illustrating how bumpy it is in one of these P2 cars, how they're taking the bumps into turn 1. As we're just watching George Kurtz, his car, the run by APR CrowdStrike car, took the bumps a little bit nicer there, and George has been running pretty well so far this week. He's enjoying it. He does say it's bumpy here, and it's certainly bumpier than the last time he was here. I think he was here in a Mercedes last, but he's enjoying the P2 car. He's driving here with Colin Braun and Malte Jakobsen, who had a very strong Daytona 24 hours, just getting beaten to the line and finishing second, but they're here and they're hungry for more. They won the last race in the Asian Le Mans Series in Sepang, so yep, they are a force to be reckoned with.
There are a number of drivers up on the provisional pole time of John Falb. That is in the number 20 car, Duquesne team. John has had huge experience in the LMP2, and he will be finding his feet after a little bit of a sabbatical, enjoying his racing with the French team. PJ Hyatt goes to the top. That's a cracking lap from the LMP2 debutant last time out. But he's had plenty of track time since, with those 2 races in Sepang and the Daytona 24 hours. But PJ goes through in a 1:49.261, 4 tenths up on John Val, but Salih Yolic pops up 3rd. And Ahmed Al-Hati, for the 99 racing team, the Omani driver, is he going to set another pole position in LMP2? At the moment, it's a 1:49.044, 2 tenths up on the field. And they look to be the major contenders at the moment, with PJ Hyatt going quicker and significantly quicker in the first sector here. He goes purple. This is impressive stuff.
It is, and this is the real meat of the session here. This is where you really want to be nailing that lap. The tyre is at its newest. You're getting it just up to that real optimum operating window. And yeah, next couple of laps are really key on who's going to secure pole position.
Got Calf 24 under investigation for causing a collision. I sincerely hope that wasn't with his team car.
Yeah, I was wondering on that when it popped up, but fingers crossed it was not.
Well, we didn't see that,
no.
But maybe that'll be picked up a little later. Ahmed Al-Hati going quicker than he'd previously gone, but that time at the moment being bettered with a great first sector time from PJ Hyatt, who is still going quicker than pole time. 3rd quickest now, moving up, is the 2nd Proton cars. At the moment, the Proton competition run cars running 2nd and 3rd in the order. So 99 racing, Proton competition, Proton again, Duquesne team. So it's teams at the moment flagged for Jordan, the number 99 car, and then 2 German flag cars, 2nd and 3rd. Hyatt goes to the top. It is a 1:48.873. First man under 1:49, and that's whatever else happens in the next 6 minutes is a cracking bit of progress from PJ Hyatt. And talk here, Ollie, to just what happens when you get a breakthrough result in terms of confidence.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge for the team. It's huge for yourself as a driver, your teammates, the way that you interact, the way you're working with your engineer. And it really does breed, you know, that confidence spreads throughout the team. And it's something that, you know, every driver needs, and every bronze and amateur driver really needs to harness that and really grab that confidence and work with it.
Let's not forget that LMP3 is out there as well. At the moment, it's high-class racing. Despite that early spin, Alden Gudmundsson has recovered well to lead that class. He's lapped to the 1:55.806. It is, what is that, just under 300-second off that Alexander Bekantsov, but he's going quicker on this lap. 2nd quickest in the Cool Racing car, the 17 car. Head of Breton Racing, CD Sport, GT Classic Cars and Viper Nisa Racing. That is the order in LMP3. Looks to me, though, as if Alexander Bekantsov is on a lap that is good enough to take pole position here, Ollie.
Yeah, it does. It does. And, you know, I think he's definitely going to improve on his lap time. And we're expecting to see that in P3. They were a slower burn just because of the way that the Michelin tyre works on this P3 car. They had to actually split the compounds front to rear to really switch that front tyre on. And he's gone P1. And
by half a second, it's going to be closed down a little, I think, by Auden Gudmundsson, but it's not. It's a poor third sector for Auden, and the gap is going to be half a second there in LMP3. And all of a sudden, with 4 minutes to go, not one single blue sector in the top 10 in LMP2.
No.
Has the pace gone out of this session for whatever reason? Well, BJ Hyatt leads it by 46 thousandths of a second from Ahmed El-Hati.
It really was. There was a big peak there in the performance of the tyre, and they all seem like they've hit it, and nobody seems to be able to recreate or reproduce anything like that. So a little bit of traffic there for the 90 coming into turn 1, with the 26 having to give up a little bit of space there as they turned into the corner, and that is multi-class racing for you.
Yeah, Ahmed El-Hati, by the way, improved to that time on this previous lap. So 1:48.873 plays another lap in the 48s, but it's a 1:48.919. So Hyatt, El-Hati, Saliolic coming through to complete another lap very shortly, but if he does so, that's not going to be an improvement for him.
Well, George Kurtz is maybe going to improve on this lap coming up. He's gone quickest in his middle sector, but no, it was not an improvement.
It wasn't. Not quick in the final sector at the moment. Any of these cars, Ian Logie is improving, but he's way down the order at the moment as he gets himself dialed into the LMP2 Rubicon.
Yeah, I think that's been a little bit of a challenge for Ian, and he's needing a little bit more a little bit more track time to get the most from that car. And it will be coming.
The new second-place car in LMP3, and that is Julian Gerby, comes through. Alexander Bekantsov then for Cool Racing leads the Breton Racing number 26 car, Julian Gerby, and then Auden Gudmundsson. Those three separated by half a second.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be more improvements from P3. You know, that sort of slow burn with their tyres, getting everything going, and it looks like it's really just falling into the window there. So,
well, still 2.5 minutes on the clock, and of course they can complete the lap they're on when the clock runs down.
Nick Adcock, just an improvement there, moving himself up into 4th spot in P3.
Well, PJ Hyatt's pitted in the number 55 car. He believes that's what he can do on those tyres.
Yep.
Is anybody else going to be able to go for a last gasp effort here? Well, Saliolic in the number 90 car, running here as a bronze ranked driver, will be a silver ranked driver in 2024 beyond the Asia Le Mans series.
Sally was extremely impressive in the European Le Mans series last year. It was just the performance, particularly at Barcelona, I seem to recall, that was exceptional.
Yeah, very focused on his performance.
Had a good run also at the Daytona 24 Hours. He was there with Lone Star Racing in the Mercedes, and I think he enjoyed his time there.
Yeah, I suspect we're going to see Sally in a GT car for the coming season. I believe there's announcements to come about where the very successful Turkish driver is going to be. This is the Duquesne team car. Their session is over. John Falb led early on. Ahmed El-Hati, by the way, is up on pole time.
So he's maybe just called everything off and decided to go for it one more time. Let me see what he can produce in the 99 racing car. So watching Sally here, and I'm just scanning the timing screen, and it doesn't look like
he's done track limits in sector 1.
Yeah,
and I think that's all she wrote, because there would not be enough time to go for it round.
No.
There will just actually be enough time to start one more lap. Looking at the timing and scoring screens, he will make the line before the checkered flag.
And just watching Ahmed El-Hati come through here, is going to break the timing beam for that second sector, and he's down.
He's down on the pole time. It's going to have to be a sparkling third sector here from Ahmed El-Hati. He's under a 10th off the scheduled time, with around a 30-second sector he's in now, but that was a slide out of
he couldn't quite put the power down as he's looking to get that run through and off and into 15, and no track limits on the exit there, and then lining up the line through turn 16, the great strong run off, trying to make sure not to ping the track limits there. Nicely done, and I'm just not sure it's going to be enough.
It's not enough, and it is going to be PJ Hyatt who sticks to the top of timing and scoring, just looking if there's anybody else anywhere close. There are improvements in times coming here, Ollie, but nothing that looks... that is an extraordinary result for PJ Hyatt.
It is. Very, very impressive.
He is going to be
delighted.
He's going to be absolutely over the moon, very committed to his racing and committed to enjoying his racing, which is great to see.
Alexander Bekantov at the top of P3 right now.
Gordon Gudmundsson has given up. He's on pit lane. He'll do no better than third. GG Classic Cars, George Nakas crosses the line. He'll do no better than fifth. Can Julian Gerby challenge this? He's sort of on the pace to do it. It's going to be tenths, even thousandths. But no doubt in my mind, the pole position is going to be taken here by the 55 Proton car. Kermit, I think we'll call this one. And it is PJ Hyatt that takes that pole position. That is
impressive, very impressive.
Well, this is his fourth race in an LMP2 car. Two of them in Sepang, then the Daytona 24 Hours, and now here in Dubai. And this will be a very happy memory for the start of 2024.
First time here for PJ?
I think it is. I'm trying to remember whether or not he did a one-off in the Daytona 24 Hours, but I don't think he did.
Yeah, that is impressive, because this is not the easiest track in the world to learn.
No, absolutely
not. The conditions have been tricky this week. All the changing the wind direction and the cool temperatures and everything else. I think it has been a challenge. But great performance in qualifying there by PJ Hyatt, putting the 55 car on pole position for Proton competition. Christian will be happy. He
most certainly will, and this is a big step up this year in all sorts of arenas from Proton competition. The deal here in Asia with PJ Hyatt and the two top pros he's got with him, that looks like being a car to watch now. That pace, we saw it, didn't we? We saw he was confident in the car in Sepang. He was confident in going wheel to wheel. There is PJ.
It's great to see.
That's a big broad smile. He's going to want to tell that story. I can tell you that. Yeah. It might be a while before we get the end of the soundbite from this one. Well done, sir. That's an absolutely brilliant result from you. Lovely guy. Absolute pleasure to deal with in this paddock. Fits sports car racing like a glove.
Fantastic.
Gets it. Gets the attitude. Gets the passion. Gets all of it. And they're bringing something special. This is a Proton competition entry. His team with Gunnar Jeanette, who is here in the garage with him, from AO Racing, is a key part of it. They're represented in the coming season, both in the IMSA with the Tech Sports Car Championship and the European Le Mans Series.
Busy season.
There's the times at the end of qualifying for LMP2 and LMP3. It is Proton Competition's number 55 car, 148.873 for PJ Hyatt. Beats out the number 99 Racing car, 46,000th back with Ahmed Al-Hati from Oman. He'll be on the front row of the grid, though, for tomorrow's race. The number 90 car from TF Sport from the UK, quarter of a second off for Sally Jolic. That's a mark of how good a lap that was. Giorgio Roda in the second Proton car will complete row 2 tomorrow in the 22 Orica, and row 3 will be the Duquesne team and the AF Corsa Oricas. Into LMP3, Cool Racing will take pole position here. It is Alexander Bekantov beating off the effort from Julien Gerby in the Breton Racing team. That was quite some performance, but none more so. And we've said it several times, we're going to repeat it because it's worth it. I think that would have sent a bit of a message down that pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's Ahmed Al-Hati.
We're seeing the top four there, and they're just covered by under 0.4 of a second. And actually, PJ Hyatt didn't get a purple sector on any of the sectors there for his best lap. And so it was really tightly packed between Giorgio Roda, Sally Jolic, Ahmed Al-Hati and PJ Hyatt. They all did a fantastic job, but PJ just delivered over the total lap. Really performed throughout. That's why he's on pole position.
Well, there's Ahmed Al-Hati from Oman. Now, just to put this into context, Ahmed came in very late last season to do the 2 races at Yas Marina and set pole position in both races. So that's a guy with a lot of race experience stepping into the P2 car and showing he had pace. PJ Hyatt has done something not dramatically dissimilar to that.
Yep.
That is a mark of the progress. He will get quicker, no doubt whatsoever about it, as will Ahmed Al-Hati. So great performances from both of our front row cars. and there are some stellar talents to come, because the unique part of this racing, of course, is, here's the thing, Ollie, we're talking about their pace. They are the slowest drivers in that car.
I wouldn't want to sort of say that to them directly.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yes.
But yes, there is a huge amount of talent.
And there you go. That is Ahmed Al-Hati talking to his teammates and being disappointed by second place. That's what I love to see in a non-professional driver. Not the disappointment, but the fact that it's disappointing to be second.
Absolutely, and everybody's striving to win. Everybody loves to be the winner.
And whether or not these guys are as fast as the full pro racers, make no mistake, bettering their peers in a session like that is a big deal for these racers. They are super serious about what they bring to this racing package, the contribution they know they can make. And this, that 20-minute session is the peak of their opportunity of this weekend, with new tyres, with low tanks, to show what they've got against people who are rated exactly the same as they are in the world of motorsport.
It's fantastic to see, and we've got a stacked grid here in the Asian Le Mans Series and 13 cars in P2, and you know, all of that talent that's going to be coming after these guys. I mean, the racing was fantastic in Sepang. We saw some amazing battles and wheel-to-wheel, really great strategy as well from the teams reacting to certain things, with weather as well there in Sepang. But I think here in Dubai, I think we're going to see some exceptionally strong teams, driver lineups, and a lot of strategy going on with how they're going to work through their pit stops and the total package, and how they're going to manage their assets throughout the race to come away with the victory. And that's something that gets everybody working extremely hard in every team.
Let's go back and look at the highlights of these qualifying sessions. It was GT first, with the number 33 car out first onto track from the Herbert Racing team. GR Racing's gorgeous black and orange Ferrari followed suit. Prince Jeffrey in the number 88 car was right in the mix in the early part of this session, and would finish well up the order at the end of that session, as the Audis were dominant in Sepang. Started to show what they've got. Pure Racing took a race win last time out, and they would be in the mix too. Number 91 car hovering around pole position. Alban Ferruti had the pace in the 42 Santalot car, topped the times, but at the death of that session lost his fastest lap times. They will start from the very back of the grid. The number 7 car from Almanar Racing by Get Speed would take pole position for Mercedes AMG. Great performance from the team. So Mercedes and Porsche it will be on the front row of this 22-car GT grid. Next 15 minutes, that went the way of LMP2 and LMP3. The V8-powered P2 cars, the Screamers, the Rumblers, the P3 cars. There was a quick half spin early in the session with Morten Gudmundsson from Iceland, but he would be in the mix. And around the top of the times towards the end of the session, Breton Racing's Julien Gerby would challenge as well, the brand new team from the Czech Republic. Pole position in the LMP3 class in these little Ligier prototypes with the rumbling 5.6-litre Nissan engines would go to the number 17 Cool Racing Squad. Alexander Bekantsov it would be as the pole position setter, with a lap in 1 minute 55.118 seconds, fending off the reigning Michelin Le Mans Cup champion in the Breton Racing car behind. Meantime, in LMP2, 13 cars, third on the grid would be Sally Jolic. It's been a force to be reckoned with in European Le Mans Series, and he was a force to be reckoned with here too in Dubai, but no better than third would be possible today. And that's because of the efforts of the other car housed in TF Sports stable. Ahmed Al-Hati from Oman sat on top of the times briefly, but 1:48.919 would not be good enough, and that's because of a stellar lap from this car and the man driving it, PJ Hyatt from the United States in the Proton competition. AO Racing liveried Orica, 1:48.873 for his first career pole in LMP2. He and the team will be absolutely delighted with that. They will start from pole position for the 4 hours of Dubai, which starts tomorrow. And there is PJ raising that finger that says one thing, success, and the thumb means happy. Well, thanks for joining us for these quick-fire sessions here from the Dubai Autodrome for the Asian Le Mans Series. Round 3, 4 hours and more of the same, with 3 drivers per car, will be underway tomorrow, live and free on our YouTube channel and, of course, the series website. Thanks so much for joining us, Ollie Gavin, sports car racing legend, and Claire Jedrick down in pit lane gathering the interviews. We will see you tomorrow. Join us from Dubai Autodrome for 4 hours of action.